If you do not know how to sew using a needle and thread, this video is for you. Hi family, my name is Vivian Obunde. I'm a beautician and a fashion designer. This is Sewing 101 with Vivian Day 3. Today we will be sewing a straight skirt using needle and thread. This skirt has been cut from our previous video, so if you haven't seen that video, you may want to watch that after this one, or you pause this, go and watch that one, and then you come back to this. In a skirt, this is the front piece, this is the back piece, this is the zipper allowance, this is the second part of the back piece. So straight skirt has 3 pieces, 1 for the front and 2 for the back. So in joining this, you place your paper like this together. In case you're working with the fabric, you do the same. You place them together like this. You pin if need be. I've threaded my needle. So this is my needle. You thread it. And the best thing to do is to pin it so as to secure both pieces together. Ensure you push that to the end so you secure both pieces together. This part you see curved is the hemming allowance for the bottom. You secure them all together as you see me do, like so. So you start to sew, knot your thread, and then you start to sew like so. This is a paper, so I won't be leaving much allowance. I won't be leaving so much allowance. This needle is big, so let me change it. Let's make use of a smaller needle because it's making the hole too big. So I'll just remove this and use a smaller needle. This is a very small needle. It's normally used for beading. You can buy the one that is a little bit bigger than this, so fixing the thread won't be so difficult. So you fix, this is how you thread your needle. Fix it at one end, you pull it to the other, and you knot it. You knot it and cut the excess. So now I'll go ahead and start again. Fix my needle, so back in. Mind you, I'm giving 1.5 inch allowance because that was the extra allowance I added while cutting this pattern. So this is how you sew. Do this, and then you proceed forward. Fix this like so. So if you become good, you're able to just fix like this and bring it up. This way is faster. This is a running stitch. You just run it along. If you know you can't maintain the curve, it's advisable you draw a line. It's advisable you draw a curve that would guide you. That would guide you. So I'm marking this at 1/2 inch, so it will guide me in order to sew a straight curve. So along this line, I'll be doing this. this. So you have to do this, take your time and do it until you get to the finished line. This is one amongst the easiest way to learn how to sew if you don't have a sewing machine yet. You can do this while you save up to get your sewing machine. So I'll repeat the same process. You look at it, let me slow down a bit. You fix it here, down, and then see the needle, I'll pull it all up to come up. So that's what I'm doing basically. Again, I'll pass my needle here. So I won't push it all the way in. I'll maintain a similar spacing as what I'm doing in the front. Then from this point, you pull it back in. So this is what I'll be doing until I get to the top. You do this. And in case you don't know, before the invention of sewing machines, this is how our forefathers used to make clothes. Basically with needle and thread. Until date, there are people who still make clothes using this method. They don't use sewing machine. These people who do draping and all, you just use your hand needle, thread, and fabric to make your clothes. So if you take this seriously, you'll be able to make outfits that you can wear. That simple outfits, not something complicated. With just your needle and thread. And this is like the basics of sewing, because you can never use your sewing machine to do everything. There are things that you need hand to do. If you take a close look, if you've been online, you will see these days that designers sew their laces with hand needle. First of all, you make the base of your fabric, the base of your dress rather, and then you place the lace over it. It's called lace placement, and it is done using needle and thread. So this is like one among the basic things you should know if you have plans of becoming a tailor, or if you have plans of learning how to at least make simple outfits for yourself, or be able to adjust your clothes in case you buy them and they are not your size. You adjust them, or in case you have torn clothes, you are able to fix them. This is for illustration purpose. That's why my stitch is not very close. In case you're doing this so you're going to wear it, make sure your stitch is closed. You can see I'm sewing backward. I'm just trying to secure this tightly so that I'm able to cut my thread. So I'll cut my thread now. You see, you hold your needle like this, just grab it like this, like you're making a circle. You pass it under and you're good. Place it downward like this, place your hand, and you're good. You do this until the knot is thick enough so it will be secured and it won't pass through. After this, we remove our pins and then we open up. This is what we have. One part of our skirt is ready. One part of our skirt is ready. With your handling paper, you have to take your time Take your time so that you do a nice job. So I'll bring it back just as it was and bring my other piece and place it like so. Again, I'll pin. I'll pin. I'll pin. So this time I'll be marking, although I have the line here from the cutting, but I'll be showing you how to mark in order to get accurate allowance. Here I use 1/2 inch. That means from the tip of my tape to this long point, not the longest, the long one here, that's 1/2 inch. You place your tape like so, you mark 1/2 inch, place it, you mark 1/2 inch, place it, you mark 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Remember dotted lines in mathematics. So this is the same thing you're trying to do. You're trying to make dotted lines, and then you just connect these lines, those points rather. So by doing this, you have your line or curve with even allowance, same allowance. So now I'll be taking this to my sewing machine to sew, just to show those who already have sewing machines at home how they can achieve this as well. So I'll be using my tabletop machine. So this is my tabletop machine. In case you are looking up to buying a machine that is a little bit easy to move around and you're on a budget, you should get something like this. So it has the plug like so. It's electrical. So this plug is the part where you plug here on your source of electricity or power, and then this is what you plug to the machine, and this is like the footer. This is going to be on the floor where I press my foot. So but for the sake of this video, I'll leave it here so you are able to see how I'm using this. Let me use this one instead, since it's a normal sewing thread. This is how you fix it. This is your reeler, and this is your bobbin case or shuttle. You fix it like this. Place it in here, push it back. Now I'll be threading again. Like I said, if you don't know how to do this and you have this machine, let me know so I can put you through on how to navigate around it. So I'll bring up my thread. I'll collect the one that was under. This is it, it's black. Push that to the side. I'll return this. I'll put on the machine and I'm good to go. So when I want to sew now, let's sew on this part that is white. I'll drop this, my presser foot, and then I'll begin to sew. This is what is supposed to be on my leg, but for the sake of this video, I'll be using my hand so you know how it works. Press it like this. Okay, sorry, it's on zigzag. I'm supposed to turn it back to a straight stitch. You see, has different stitches. This is a straight stitch, this is a straight stitch. Depending on how tight you want it. If you want it tight, you use this medium. Very spaced, you do that. I'll be leaving it at this number 2. I'll be following this chalk as my guideline for sewing. So when I press this now, my machine will start moving. See? When I remove my hand, it will stop. When I press it down, it will move. If you're a new person, you don't have to. If you're new to sewing, you don't need to press it all down. Just a little pressure and it will be moving gently, so you're able to control. If I want it to move very fast, then I'll press all the way down. If it's not running as fast as I want it, I'll take it to the long stitch. So if you're sewing and this is on your leg, I'm supposed to back stitch. That's as I'm coming this way, I'll take it back. It's called like a back stitch, and it helps to secure your stitch so it doesn't lose. You see here, I started without back stitching, so it can easily loosen up as seen. So when I back stitch, it won't do that, and this is how you back stitch. That's the reverse stitch. Instead of coming forward, you go back. So I'll come forward, and then when I press here, it will go back. You see? Come forward. Once I press there and press here, it will go back. So it's like I'm repeating my stitch at this point. Then I'll take this lever up. I'll screw and remove my thread and cut. Sorry, something happened here. It skipped. So I'll repeat my sewing here where it's unraveling. And I'll back stitch as I get to the end. That is it. That is it about this. Take out the pins. Take out the pins. You flip and you have the something. So mind you, this is the point where you make use of your tape again. Our hip measurement was what? 25. I'm using hip measurement of 25. So 25 divided by 2. 25 divided by 2. This is what I have, 12 and a half. So this is it. I added half inch allowance while I was sewing. That is why when I now sew the half inch, I now have exactly 25 inches, which is 12 and a half. Half of 25. If I had sewn inwards like a little bit bigger than half an inch, I would have shortage. So you maintain your clients or your measurements while sewing. So that way you turn to this other side. You may want to ask, why didn't I divide by 4 again? It's because then it was unfold like this, so you divide by 4, but now I've opened it up, so the division is by 2. So when I come to this back piece where I have 2 pieces, it means that I'll be dividing the back here by 4 because this is separate. So 12 and a half now divided by 2 again, which is 25 divided by 4. This is what I have, 6.2 here. So it means this is where you now put this together. That means that I'm pinning again to secure, pinning again to secure, pinning again to secure, pinning again, secure. So this now means that my allowance for this back piece is this. That's from where I marked here now to this, which is like 1.1. This, because after minusing this here, this is what is left. So you maintain the same measurement all the way down, 1.1, 1.1, all the way down. In case you are making a skirt that would not have a slit, you go all the way down, but I want my skirt to have an opening at the back, so I won't go all the way down. In case your skirt won't have a slit, you sew all the way down, but for this my sewing will be stopping here. Okay, you want to go back to the machine, sew the back piece. So I'll remember to back stitch this time. Yeah. Get here, I'll leave my hand, place it down, stitch, lift that up. See what I'm lifting up? Goes down, take it up. Bring out this thread. Once you roll this, see your needle goes up and down. In case you don't know how to use a sewing machine, you can ask me how to, or you can let me know where I can put you through, so I'll do that. This thing so well, so I'll have to do that again. And this is because it's a paper, so it's not working as it should. So it's not sewing as it should. So I'll take off the pins again. Off the pins. And this is what I have now. You see? Our skirt is coming together. So because the skirt is usually, the waist is usually smaller than the back, and you want the waist to be fitted, you have to insert dart. What is a dart? It's basically a line or a stitch that you do on the part of your dress in order to give it more shape or fitting. So in measuring my dart, I'll measure from the center line here. For like a standard measurement is 4, but because this is a miniature dress, it won't be up to 4, so I'll be using just half of this total measurement. And you can do that as well. After marking your skirt, after sewing the sides, you can just, from the zip allowance, use half the line, half the width of one side of the skirt. So I have 2.5 there, and I have 2.5 there. So this is going to be my dart. I'll do the same thing here, 2.5, 2.5, and I'll mark my line. In doing this, make sure one is not longer and the other is not short. I'm using 4.5 here. I'll make sure this one too is up to 4.5. So let me show you this with hand needle. After doing this, you fold it like this. Even better if you sew this back before this back piece, that way it will be easier for you. So this is how your dart should be. Your dart should not come like this and curve like that. Your dart is supposed to go slant and straight down. So you would need a ruler to mark your dart this way. This is how you are to sew your dart. So I'll go over that again. Always remember to stitch. I'm not really stitching because it's stressful. This is not on my foot. I just want to show you how it works. So you come back to this part now, and you do the same. If you think this will be difficult for you, it's better you do this before you join the back. That way it will be easier. Remember, our dart is supposed to be slant, and the point where it's stopping is here. Always remember to mark. I'm not marking because I know even without marking it, I should be able to get it right. Even without marking. This is how neat you're supposed to come up with your slant. So if you look at this now, you will see that the dart is holding the waist in, giving you that snatch effect on the waist, and is giving volume to the hip part. It's making the hip have enough allowance. You don't sew and then make your butt too tight. You make your waist tight and your hip free. So after that, now we do what is called hemming. Hemming is finishing your garment. Imagine this is a fabric and I cut, it will be fraying out. The thread will be coming out, so you hem to get rid of that. If you're hemming a fabric, you have to do it twice. One, like so, and two. But because this is a paper, I'll be hemming just once. So this is one of the ways you finish your skirt, your top, your garments. You can decide to use bias tape, but I'll show you that as time proceeds. So let's go on and hem our waist, the waist of our skirt. And the allowance is better, you always push it towards the back. It is better. In hemming, you also maintain the same spacing. For those of us that don't have machine, everything I'm doing here, you will be doing with your hand needle. If you get the cutting and the sewing part right, once you get your machine, it will be easier for you. Now, this will become a slit of my skirt. So there are several ways of finishing the slit of your skirt. You can decide to sew like this, like this, like this, and then you fold it again all the way around. Or you use a hemming gum. This is a hemming gum. Once you place it in here and apply heat, it will make these two pieces to stick together. But this is a hemming gum. It gives a nice finishing so that you don't have thread. You don't have thread showing at the back of your slit. So let's assume we have used hemming gum to seal this part now. I'll be hemming the bottom part as well. Remember that day we left up to 1 inch allowance. So I'll fold this in this way. The fabric, once you do this, it is advised that you iron. But when you iron, it keeps it in place. Mind you, your hemming gum can also do this job. You just take it, pass it under, and iron. As time goes on, I'll show you how to do that. For now, we'll be finishing it with our machine. This way, now it's time for us to fix the zipper. In fixing your zip, there are several ways to fixing your zip. Here is one of the ways you can fix your zip. Continue like this with this line, like so, that way. And then you place your zipper like so. Let me flip this so I can show you properly. It's tearing up because it's a paper. So one of the ways to fix your zip is fold it neatly like so. Then you place your zipper like so. Then you pin it. You just let the zipper area to show. Let the zipper area to show like so. You pin it like that. Don't pin and you have plenty of this out. Bring it in like this again. You pin it. Pin it. You pin it like so. And you are good. Now it's time to sew. So in sewing, you won't leave this out like this. It is either you fold it inward like this and sew all the way down, or you remove this pin here, then you pass this one inside. This one, if you do it like this, your finishing will be neater. If you pass it inward like so, your finishing will be neater. You pass it like so, and then you start sewing. I'll pass my needle from here like this, bring it out. I'll push the excess inside, or I cut it off like so. Push that in like so. So you pretty much continue just as we did the first part of as we started earlier. That's the side seam of our skirt. You repeat the same process. If you have your sewing machine, you do that with your sewing machine. I'm making my running stitches very long just for the sake of this video. I'm trying to be fast and save time so the video doesn't become unnecessarily long. Okay. So because this is paper, I don't want to really flip it in again. It's fragile. See, I'll pass my hand down and pin. I'm trying to pick the zip under and pin it. And I think one of the ways, if you know you get your measurements right, it's even better you do your darts. You fix your zip. You sew this part, you do your dart, you fix your zip before you sew the sides. That way it will be easier. Sewing is not science. There is no particular pattern to doing something. The major thing we are interested in is the result. No one cares how you went about it. We only care about the results. Like I said earlier, sewing is not science. So do you. So I'm supposed to go here at least secure my zip. I can't bend that over because the zipper is there. So I'll just pass it under like so. And then I'll pass it under again. Come out very close to this point where I already sewed. I'll do the same thing. This time I can take it up. And take it up like so. Subsequently, I'll show you a much more neater way to finish your zip, but this is also not one of the ways you can finish your zip. If you're doing this on your machine, trust me, it will be neat. It's because it's a paper, that's why it's not as neat as it should. As your sewing progresses, you can take off your pins. As your sewing progresses, you can take off your pins. So do this until you get to the point where I want to put this in. I'll remove my pin again. Let me open it up for ease. And so then I'll push this inward like so. Once I push that in, I'll secure it. Once I push that in order to be safe, you can even push that in and secure both zipper together before you do this. That way you're sure everything is secured. Push that in like so. Like so. Like so. Like so. Sorry, you have to avoid your thread from getting to your zipper because it will prevent it from zipping. And the place where you knot and cut is under. You don't do it where your thread will be, the knot will be showing on the right part of your dress or skirt. Now just knot it down and cut. So today I just showed you how, and then you cut this. You don't leave it long like this, you cut it out. But I won't be cutting it because I'll be removing the zip to use for our next practical. Now this is another sewing tool, something very important and handy that you should have, the hemming gum. Others call it patching gum. And so by this we have our skirt. See, this is the waist of our skirt. This is the hip, which is like the fullest part of the lower part of the body. This is towards the knee area, and this is our zipper. And I just showed you how to insert our zipper, and this is our slit. A slit is needed because it helps your leg to move freely. If the dress is a tight one and this is covered, you can't move freely. Peradventure, you're making use of an elastic material or fabric, you would not need a slit. You can cover your slit, but because the material is elastic and stretchy, you will still be able to move freely. If your material is elastic and stretchy, you may not even need a dart. So as easy as sewing a stretchy material is, because of this point where you're able to buy cut, sometimes working on them is difficult because as you're sewing, one part is becoming longer than the other, is stretching. So you have to be careful in case you're using a stretchy fabric. Make sure you pin everything and then you sew. You can't afford to sew a stretchy fabric without pinning. You will not do a nice job. So in this video, I believe you have learned how to sew your side seam using your accurate body measurements and the allowance you gave while cutting the fabric. You've learned what a dart is and how to insert a dart. You know what a slit is and what it does, which is giving you allowance for movement. You know what a hem is, which is the finishing of the bottom or the waist part or the edge basically of a fabric, so that you don't leave it fraying out. So if you have learned at least a thing or two, let me know in the comment section. Basically, tell me what a dart is. If you Google online, you will even get a better definition of a dart. Let me know the meaning of a dart. Let me know what hemming is and what is the use of a hemming gum and how it can be used. Let me know what an allowance is. For this dress, this is the allowance we have on the side seam. So if you come this far with me, consider liking this video and dropping your honest opinion in the comment section, and please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, as I'll be sharing with you more tutorials like this. This is Sewing 101 with Vivian, and this is day 3 of our class. At this point, I want to apologize for not being consistent. I got caught up with work, and so I was unable to upload as I should. But for now, moving forward, we might not just do it within 1 month as I earlier said, but I'll upload these videos up until the 30th one, and after which we'll conclude our Sewing 101 class. And by then you should be able to make basic outfits for yourself. For now, expect 3 videos a week, hopefully Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 4 p.m. Nigerian time respectively. If there's any part of this video you don't understand, feel free to ask questions in the comment section. I'll be there to answer. Share this video to as many people that you think will need to see this. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye.